You know that look, right? The one from a woman where her body is perfectly still, nothing moving an inch. But her eyes, man, her eyes are practically burning a hole right through you. She's gone all quiet, way too quiet. And you can just feel something deeper, something maybe a bit darker, churning away behind that perfectly shaped eyebrow. That's not just simple attraction flickering there. It's not even straightforward desire. Nah, that right there is a full-blown fantasy, just sitting dormant, primed and waiting for the right spark to set it off. Here's the thing though, the real kicker. Most guys, honestly, they never dare to go near that territory. They play everything way too safe, sticking strictly to polite conversation, constantly asking for permission for every little thing, and then they spend forever wondering why she never seems completely there with them, not fully present in the bedroom, not truly lost in love. But if you can tap into that hidden current, she'll be yours in ways she herself probably couldn't even begin to explain. Let's just dive right in. First up, the take control trigger. Why does she secretly crave to be owned, in a sense, by a man who never feels the need to ask? I mean, here's the raw truth, what no woman will typically say out loud, but it's there. She wants a man who doesn't pause to ask if she's ready. She wants a man who just knows. And look, that's not about being disrespectful, not at all. It's pure, unadulterated confidence. It's a kind of emotional dominance, the sort she might pretend to dislike or even scorn in public, but deep down, in the quiet, she aches for it. Just think about it. Why do women devour books like 50 Shades of Grey? Why does the whole bad boy trope just never seem to die off? Why does the quiet, brooding guy, the one who barely says a word, always seem to grab her attention? It's simple, really. He embodies something she desperately craves but feels utterly powerless to control herself. Not abuse, definitely not arrogance, but authority, presence, command. She wants to feel genuinely overpowered by a man who is completely, unshakably in control of himself. That's the paradox, the core of it. The fantasy isn't about being pushed around helplessly. It's about choosing to surrender completely without a single shred of fear. And a truly high-value man understands instinctively that this kind of surrender only becomes possible when she trusts your leadership implicitly. So how do you actually activate this? You do it by being that man, the one who never needs to raise his voice just to get her attention. You walk into a room and she feels you before you've even uttered a syllable. You lock eyes with her, just one intense look, and her breath catches right in her throat. You reach for her hand, not to ask permission, but to lead. That's the trigger, plain and simple. It's certainty radiating from your core. Number two, the forbidden protector fantasy. Yeah, she craves being rescued deep down, but she'll never actually say it out loud. She'll tell the whole world she doesn't need saving, thank you very much. She's fiercely independent, totally in control, strong. She's built these impressive walls around herself, brick by brick, and she's proud of them, wears them like armor. But way down inside, past all the defenses, she desperately wants to be caught. Not by someone soft or easily shaken, not by someone who's going to crumble the moment she breaks down, but by a man who sees straight through all that armor she's wearing, looks her right in the eye, and calmly, firmly says, "I've got you." This isn't about theatrics playing the white knight hero. It's about becoming her sanctuary, her safe harbor, the one single place where she can finally stop pretending, stop performing. Because here's her big secret, the one she keeps locked away. She might run the world by day, command armies in the boardroom, but when she's with you, she wants nothing more than to collapse into your strength and just feel safe being fragile, maybe even weak for a little while. Triggering this fantasy isn't about grand, sweeping gestures. It's about those subtle, almost imperceptible moments that whisper, softly but clearly, "Hey, you don't have to carry the whole damn world on your shoulders alone anymore." Hold her gaze steadily when you see her starting to spiral into anxiety. Gently guide her into silence when her thoughts are racing like a runaway train. Just stand there, solid and unshaken, when she pushes you away, because what she really needs to know deep down is that you absolutely won't leave no matter what. The more stoic, the more unflappable you become, the more her emotional storms will start to orbit around you, drawn to your calm instead of threatening to destroy everything. And once she truly feels that safety, that bedrock solidity, that's when she'll start showing you every single part she hides from everyone else in the world.
3. The masquerade fantasy. She desperately wants you to see the version of her that nobody else gets access to. You know that part of her that effortlessly smiles in public, that knows exactly how to flirt, play the game, perform the role expected? Yeah, well, that's her mask. And honestly, every single woman wears one. It's just part of navigating the world. But what she really wants, what she secretly fantasizes about in those quiet moments, is the man who can see right behind it. The one who catches that tiny, almost imperceptible crack in her voice when she says she's fine, or notices the slight tremor she tries to hide, and he doesn't call her out on it, doesn't embarrass her. He simply understands. You don't expose her vulnerabilities. You quietly witness them. And that deep witnessing, is a level of intimacy most men never even get close to touching. Triggering this fantasy is all about attunement, being finely tuned into her frequency. You watch her carefully, noticing the subtle shifts, the slight change in her tone, the meaning in her silences, the story her body language tells when her words don't match. You respond thoughtfully, intuitively. You don't just react impulsively. And in the warmth and safety of that profound presence, she starts to feel utterly naked, exposed, but somehow completely safe within that vulnerability. She might automatically say, "I'm fine," the standard deflection. But when you lean in close, gently hold her face, look deep into those eyes and say softly, "You know, you really don't have to be fine right now," she'll melt. Because in that instant, she realizes she's not alone behind the mask anymore. You've stepped right into that intensely private world inside her mind, the hidden place she didn't even fully realize she was aching desperately to share with someone. And when you make her feel truly known like that, seen in all her complexity, she doesn't just want your touch, she needs it, craves it, on a primal level. 4. The controlled chaos fantasy. This one's raw, primal, the deepest layer. She wants to feel completely, deliciously out of control, but only within the safety of your hands. This is the one she absolutely never admits to, not to her closest friends, maybe not even in her most private journal entries. But it's arguably the most explosive, intoxicating, and yes, dangerous fantasy of them all. The fantasy of losing control entirely, yet knowing you're holding her securely. She wants to surrender to something bigger than her ever-shifting moods, bigger than her gnawing fears, bigger than the constant, exhausting overthinking that fills her head. You see, this isn't about physical force or coercion. It's about you being so grounded, so immovable in your own center, that she feels like she can finally just let go, completely fall apart, knowing she won't actually fall alone or hit the ground. And you absolutely don't lose your own center amidst her storm. You hold her steady through it. You guide her gently. You breathe deeply, anchoring her. You lead. Triggering this particular fantasy is fundamentally about your unwavering presence. You don't ask what she wants. You seem to feel it, sense it, before the words even form on her lips. You intuitively slow her down when she starts spiraling into frantic energy. You press pause with quiet authority when she tries to rush through moments. You hold her tighter, more securely, when she instinctively pushes against you, testing your resolve. And in that intricate, powerful dance, she begins to unravel, to truly let go. She's not afraid of the dark corners of herself with you. She actually wants to explore them because you are her unshakable anchor, her safe harbor in any storm. When a woman finds a man who can genuinely handle her fire, her passion, her intensity, she'll willingly set his entire world ablaze just to stay warm beside him in the glow.
5. The silent obsession fantasy. This is when you become the thought she simply cannot escape, the echo in her mind. This final fantasy, interestingly, doesn't require a single word from you. It's not about overt seduction, obvious dominance,
or even explicit safety. It's about lingering. You trigger this powerful pull when you stop chasing, stop reacting, and instead start moving through your own life with this unbothered, magnetic confidence. You show her through your actions and your calm that her rejection, if it happened, didn't shatter you, that you aren't constantly watching her social stories, hanging on her every online move, you're not taking the bait, not playing her games. You're busy building your life, growing, glowing from within, radiating purpose. And suddenly, almost against her will, she can't stop thinking about you. It's the mystery you embody, the quiet restraint you show, the way your presence somehow lingers palpably in rooms you've physically already left. She starts to crave your unique energy again, that undeniable pull. But this time, there's a twist. She's genuinely not sure if she can actually have it back. That's what makes it a true fantasy. Because the man who haunts her thoughts isn't the loudest one in the room. It's the one who once touched her soul deeply and meaningfully, and then vanished, seemingly without needing her applause or validation. You become her quiet obsession, and she'll certainly never admit it out loud, but she'll replay the smallest details, the way you breathed near her, the intensity of your stare, the uncanny feeling that you truly knew her, over and over and over in her mind. Now you know. Not the sanitized fantasy she might post about on Instagram. Not the sweet, socially acceptable little checklist she tells her friends she's looking for. Nope, you've glimpsed the real one. The potent, often suppressed fantasy she tries so hard to keep hidden. And if you're still here, still reading, still resonating, you're not average. You're not playing it safe. You're a man of genuine presence, a man who can hold fire in his hands without flinching. So I'll leave you with this core truth. She doesn't ultimately want a man who asks for permission for every step. She wants a man who awakens her mind, her body, and her soul, stirring those deep, hidden currents. If that resonates with who you are or who you're becoming, don't play small. Step up. Become the one fantasy she'll never confess aloud, but will absolutely never, ever forget. If this hit a nerve, if it awakens something restless inside you, if you're finally done playing it soft in a world that fundamentally responds to strength and depth, then take the step. This space isn't built for weak men, for followers. It's for the few who step up to lead with clarity, quiet command, and true masculine depth. If you've seen that look in her eyes, the one where she almost surrendered, almost let go, if you've ever felt that magnetic pull deep in your gut, if you're truly ready to become the man women dream about in their most private silence, then own it, trigger it, type it, obsession.